What can we really take away from the Tank Davis versus Devin Haney sparring, the infamous sparring session? We saw the clip leak from Ryan Garcia, but I'm here to tell you guys, and you guys may already know this, but that wasn't very indicative of what went down. We know that Devin Haney got in there, 16, 17 years old, whatever the case may be, was getting touched up in that clip that we all saw go viral, that was leaked by Ryan Garcia. I don't like the leak sparring, but it is what it is. Ryan did what he did to kind of honor his word because people were saying that he was lying about seeing the footage, but I think it was blown way out of proportion. You can't take away, anything from sparring footage that takes place on a random day, a day before Sean Porter versus Adrian Broner showdown, where people just want to see something exciting. And I get the fact that you look at that fight, you see Devin Haney, the star that he is today, becoming undisputed champion at 135 pounds as a lightweight, moving up to 140, then beating a guy like Regis Prograis in his junior welterweight debut at 140. That's very, very impressive. Very impressive at his age. And you look at that, and then you see the sparring. You see Devin Haney getting touched up. A lot of shots landed on him by Tank Davis. And you like to say, wow, if that was a real fight, Tank would have knocked him out. Tank would have, 10-ounce gloves, no headgear. Devin went a bit asleep. It's different in the pros, Devin's not a kid anymore. Devin's not 16, 17. He's grown into his physique. He's naturally a bigger fighter. Tank doesn't even want to go to 40 yet because he knows that there's a danger in fighting Devin. He knows that there's a danger in fighting Ryan Garcia. Put a rehydration clause and a catch weight for Ryan Garcia. What do you think he's going to do to Devin? If that fight ever becomes something that becomes realistic, because obviously we know Tank's campaigning at 135 right now, not making the Shakur fight, which I think should be made. If he can't fight Shakur, he should be fighting Lomachenko. There are a lot of names at 35. We're hearing Frank Martin's next for Tank, and that's a great fight. I respect that for Tank if he takes it next. I'm not trying to bash Tank. I'm not trying to do this and that. I'm just trying to say that this sparring footage isn't indicative, to me at least, of what is going to happen in an actual fight. I don't care about that. I don't care about a random day. You could have a tough day on sparring, but when the bright lights turn on, when these guys have both respectively have a 7 to 8 week training camp where they get to lock in for a guy and focus on nothing, they have a clean diet, have 2 workouts a day, go on 5-mile runs every single day of the week except for maybe one rest day throughout that 7-day duration within the week. I don't care. I don't care about sparring footage because we saw, Tank. We even heard Floyd Mayweather talk about the fact that Tank wasn't in shape. Floyd Mayweather then said that Devin was in shape. So you're getting guys that aren't ready to fight realistically for a real fight. I'm not saying that obviously Tank wasn't in shape, so he shouldn't have gotten the better of Devin. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because ultimately these guys weren't preparing for a fight. They had been training obviously, but not for a fight. So it's different. And I understand the doghouse sparring. It gets competitive. They turn the heat up to 100 degrees. They turn the clock off. Sometimes they do 15-minute rounds and they just go till somebody quits. I understand all that. That's great. Not the safest thing in the world, but hey, I get it. It's the sport of boxing. You choose to do this. You accept these challenges and you put yourself in those positions. But I think that this sparring footage, even though we see Devin Haney getting hurt, I think that it was blown out of proportion. We all heard about this infamous sparring footage where we were saying, what happened? Tank knocked out Devin Haney? I didn't know that was possible. Devin Haney's one of the most defensive fighters of all time, and he got knocked out. He was out on his feet. No, he wasn't out on his feet. Look at the clip. Watch the clip. Devin Haney was getting hit a lot, don't get me wrong. Maybe the sparring should have been stopped. If it was a fight, definitely should have been stopped. But you can still argue that. You can still argue that Devin was holding his own at his age, 16, 17 years old, and against a guy like Tank who was already, in his 20s, and it is what it is. The sparring got out there. I don't like league sparring, but, Ryan Garcia had to, in his opinion. But I still think Tank Davis and Devin Haney is still the fight to be made. I understand that Shakur and Tank is the more realistic fight right now because Shakur has talked about the fact that if Tank gave him a call, he would answer and agree to all those terms because he knows that Tank's a superstar. Tank's given Shakur his credit at times before they kind of had their falling out, but Shakur still gives Tank all the credit in the world for being a champ, for being a very talented fighter. But I still think Devin Haney and Tank is the fight to be made. I'm not saying that it's going to be a better fight than Shakur and Tank because I do think that that's probably the best fight. I'm just saying that, the backstory. I'm talking about, this sparring has set up a narrative for Devin Haney and Tank to really have a good fight. And Calvin Ford, Tank's trainer, really highlights the name Devin Haney. He wants a big fight with Shakur ultimately, like obviously he would. But I think that they know that Devin Haney's the more accomplished fighter right now. What he's done at 35, what he's done at 40. Obviously, Shakur cleaned out 26-30, and he's now campaigning at 35, and he's having a great job, doing a great job at it. Didn't have the best performance in his most recent outing. Got called the track star, this and that. He's still a very talented fighter, and him and Devin and him and Tank are still mega fights. I just think that Devin, after this fight with Ryan, is going to be a very big name. Assuming Devin beats Ryan Garcia, which I think we're all on the same page about, should be the outcome, especially with everything Ryan Garcia is doing right now. It seems like, you're focusing more on promoting the actual fight, which I respect. A lot of people are anticipating, and I would agree with this. Not agree with it, it just wouldn't surprise me if Ryan Garcia, promotes the hell out of this fight, loses, takes the bag, and, ends up retiring. A lot of people have that conspiracy theory, and it's not a crazy theory. There could be a reason why he's saying all this outlandish stuff, because he wants people to tune in on fight night, and maybe he knows that this is potentially his last fight. You hear a lot about Devin Haney saying, I'm going to end his career, he's going to retire after this, things along those lines. But I think Ryan Garcia is going to make a lot of money in this fight. Maybe it comes to the point, these are the big names. I think maybe he fights Teofimo after this and then calls it a career, because after that, I don't really care to see Ryan Garcia in that many other matchups. I think Teofimo's a big fight. I thought Rolly was a big fight, but if you're going to skip, you're not going to take Mayweather's advice. He tried to take Mayweather's advice and fight Rolly first because Floyd told Ryan Garcia that Devin Haney's not a big enough draw. So he said Floyd told Ryan Garcia to take the Rolly fight first, take the belt from Rolly at 140, and then that makes the Devin Haney fight even bigger than what it is right now. But the fight got made. It's a big fight no matter what. Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. I'm excited for that one. I mean, like, you're getting two big names. I always tell people in the sport of boxing that we got to start appreciating it, because we're all saying Devin should be fighting someone else. This isn't a good sport. Why are you hyping this fight up? I'd rather see this fight between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia as opposed to Devin Haney fighting some other guy who may be talented, but it's not Ryan Garcia. It's not a known fighter. A lot of people want to see Ryan Garcia lose. I want to see him succeed, but ultimately I just don't think this is a good matchup for him. I think he should have fought Rolly first, but it could be a potential fight after this, because if Ryan wins, Ryan loses, I still think Rolly's a good fight, Teofimo's a good fight. But other than that, I could see him, very well retiring, and I wouldn't be mad at it because he's made a lot of money in the sport. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about Devin Haney and Tank Davis and a potential mega fight at 140, assuming Tank's, ready to move to 140. I don't see him being at 35 too much longer, because ultimately there's not that many people. If you fight Frank, you don't end up fighting Shakur, you don't fight Loma. There are not a lot of big fights for you, at 35 anymore. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Devin Haney versus Tank. What do you guys think? Did that sparring footage impact your outlook on the fight? Who you think wins? I think it could go either way, but it's going to be a Tank stoppage or a Devin decision, in my opinion. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. That's going to do it for another Nads Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.